Welcome to Leicester City Fan Zone. My name's Phil. This is a bit of a special. We thought, to be fair, we've been having that much side chat in the LeicesterFanTV chat group that we wanted to know what your views were on VAR. Obviously, Jamie did his morning aftermath show, and it was a big topic. Any of you who went to Leicester City's match yesterday will have known that VAR was, again, the biggest talking point, which is a massive shame. Any of you who watched Match of the Day last night or on playback this morning would also know that it's absolutely ruining watching Match of the Day, because that's what it's all about, is VAR. So that is the big topic today, is what do you think about VAR? Are you totally sick of it? I don't know about you guys. It's absolutely ruining the fan experience for me in the ground now. When we score, you sort of half don't bother celebrating. When they score, you sort of sit there and think, well, maybe it's going to get ruled out, so you're not that bothered. And then you go, half the time, you don't even know if they're VAR checking things or not. The communication is absolutely shocking. So what we want to know is we want your views, your comments on this. But more interestingly today, I have got virtually all of the Leicester fan content team here with us, and I'm going to add them in and we're going to get their views in. First of all, let's bring in James. How are you, James?
Yeah,
can you hear us?
Thank you. Yep.
Good. So that's James, who does the kit room with us. We've also got his side show in that. Neil, how are you?
You're right, Phil. Yeah, not too bad.
Fantastic. We've got Jamie from the Fox's Arms, relaxing in the sun.
Hola, how's everyone? Are we all good?
Great, Jamie. Great. You ready to talk about VAR?
Again, yes, I love it, this subject.
Chappers is there.
Yay!
The Fox in the Box show. How are you, Chappers?
I'm good. I'm good.
And then,
you guys are all right?
Fantastic. We have then also we've got Anthony and Tom. I'm going to have to bring them in one by one. There's Tom, who does the Fan Zone show with me. How are you, Tom?
Yeah, not bad, Phil. Not bad.
Fantastic. And also, I'm going to just drop Tom out and bring in Anthony. How are you, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good.
Great. Let's start. I'm going to start with Jamie for now, because he's just done his show. Jamie, what was the big topic this morning about VAR?
The big topic was the two penalty decisions, the two handball penalty decisions, and the punch in the face to Nacho, which Tyson Fury would have been the best punch of the night if he'd thrown that one.
Guys, I don't even know if the punch against Nacho, which Edison did, I don't even know if that was VAR checked in the ground. It doesn't tell you whether things are being checked half the time or not. Does anybody know if that was being checked, guys?
I didn't see it.
It was. Yeah, I was watching it from home and it was being checked. It was showing on VAR replay, but nothing came of it, because obviously they thought nothing was to do with it. But you think, if the player is down, obviously the first thing you want to know is the player okay? Regardless of what team you're on, because Nacho looked like he was in serious danger, which is why he was taken off at half time. But the issue is, why was it not looked into afterwards? There was blatantly a VAR replay about 4 or 5 times afterwards, and they didn't say, this was an issue, this was potentially harming the player. And bearing in mind, this isn't the first time it's happened. A less serious version, but still just as bad, was against, what's his face? Against Harvey Barnes, when we played 2 months ago. So it's just the same thing all over again. And you think, I think James has had a nice rant on this on our show, which will be coming out this evening. But again, it's the view is it's going to be the assistant referee, not the main referee. And you think, whether it being the assistant and it being robotics, there'd be consistency, and there just isn't.
I mean, guys, not just the Leicester City match yesterday, obviously watching Match of the Day last night. Bournemouth looked like they got completely robbed yesterday of 2 goals on off balls coming off the top of the arm, and then people are debating what's the shoulder and what's not. Again, but the VAR people are making these calls, James.
Yeah. So anyone that watches our show tonight, you'll hear this rant again. So VAR stands for Virtual Assistant Referee. If without VAR, the linesman puts the flag up and they communicate together, and then the ref makes a decision on what the linesman's told them. With VAR, it should be the same. What these idiots in Stokely Park should be doing is just telling the ref to review the footage. The ref then goes to the side of the pitch, looks at the monitor, then makes a decision. The ref controls the game, the ref officiates that game, and he is the one in full control. It shouldn't be someone hundreds of miles away making a decision which he knows nothing about. So if he goes across that monitor, as they did in the World Cup, he reviews it, then he makes his own decision. I just think the way we're using VAR is terrible. It was used great in the World Cup, and we've just made a mockery of it.
Yeah, it seems to be that. Anthony, you were at the game yesterday?
Yes, we just have no idea what's going on. And as James says, it shouldn't be the final decision. It should be the ref making that decision. It shouldn't be the people at Stockley Park. He should be advised, told to go and look at the screen at the side of the pitch, which I'm not even sure that's being used yet. But it's almost as if they don't want to sort of say to the people in Stockley Park don't want to say that the refs have made the wrong decision on the pitch.
Yeah, Chappers, I'm going to come to you next, obviously. My biggest frustration, Chappers, is just in the ground. We just do not know what is going on.
Oh, tell me about it. You just it's got to a point where you can't even cheer, even though you know it's a goal. It's like, are they going to look at something anyway that that happened 30, 40 seconds ago before the goal actually went in? Something may have happened before the build-up. It's starting to make me not even want to go to the games, to be quite honest with you. Well, I've not been to a game for quite a while, but it's starting to make me not want to go.
Yeah, talking of that, Tom, welcome to the show. Tom, you actually mentioned this yesterday. I actually, do want to go and watch a live match at the moment with how it's being.
Well, I watched it yesterday from home, and I'm glad I watched it from home because.
And Tom, you've got a season ticket, haven't you?
Yeah,
Tom, you have got a season ticket. You were just like,
yeah. I just thought, no, I'm going to stay home today. It's a late kick-off, travelling up from Worcestershire. I'll stay at home and have a roast dinner and watch in front of the telly. I'm quite glad I did because I've woke up this morning with the same attitude. I'm at a point now of I'm starting to fall out of love with football, and I thought I'd never say that about the beautiful game. But the way VAR is being used is just a joke. You've got a monitor in the side of the pitch. Just gets a free season tickets for the year because it never gets used. What's the point of it being there? You might as well pat it away at the beginning of the season. Just say we're not going to use it and see what happens. The two decisions, I don't get it. I mean, if you're going to give a handball for Pratt and review it, 3 or 4 different angles and show everybody you're reviewing that footage because of possible handball, but then not to really show anyone that you've reviewed the handball for De Bruyne. It's gone mad, mate.
Tom, again, in the ground, I'm not sure if we knew. I'm trying to remember whether we knew that the De Bruyne handball was even reviewed. Was it or not? The communication's that sketchy in the ground, Tom. Was it reviewed, the De Bruyne one?
It was reviewed. Yeah, they did say on the telly that it had been reviewed, and they said it was okay. Apparently, his hand's in a natural position, protecting the moneymaker, as Jamie Redknapp said before. But I'm trying not to laugh at that. That's right.
Real.
It is. I mean, like you say, if you're going to give one for handball, you have to give the other. And like you say, Tyson Fury would be proud of that punch and after on Klitschy. I understand the ball hits him in the face after the goal. He's going for the ball, but it's twice now. He's come out recklessly. I know he's looking at the ball, but he's taken out a player who's then had to go off injured. There should be, a little bit of reception. My biggest query to the VAR for yesterday is why, after the David Coots, who was the virtual reality ref, made the biggest balls up at 12:30 in the Tottenham-Chelsea game by not sending the Tottenham player off, had any right to, a few hours later, come in and come in and then referee another game. He made a mistake. VAR said he had made a mistake, but they didn't turn around and go, well, we're not going to let you do another game today because your head's probably not going to be in the right place.
Yeah. I mean, guys, when you used to go to a match, and I say used to, it was only last season, was that you watched a ref run around, obviously slightly older than most of the players, so the ref was half the time puffing and wheezing a little bit, but keeping up with play. But when he missed something in a match, you sort of thought, well, he can't have eyes everywhere. He can't see an odd elbow. He can't see a handball. He watches it once, and you sort of go, well, he missed that one, didn't he? But we did. Now, when they're watching these in slow motion from 4 or 5 different, 6 or 7 different angles, how can they still be watching it in slow-mo? Again, that Spurs incident yesterday, they've come out and said it was a red card. You can watch it in, I think it looks much worse in slow motion than in real time, but it does, that is a red card incident. Jamie, how can they get that so wrong?
I really don't know. I think a big thing is that they're not using the screens. Like James said, the people at Stockley Park ought to be saying, oh, you ought to go and have a look at this. And they're taking the decision away from the referee. I mean, like yesterday's game, Michael Oliver had, I think, over 250 games in the Premiership, and that David Coates had about 15 games. Oliver's more experienced. He should have said, go and have a look at it and check it. It's ruining the whole game. It really is. I don't enjoy it at all. And I'm the same as Tom and Lee. I'm not enjoying watching it now because I know something will happen that will ruin it for me. And I'm waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing that's happened is my lads here now. I think the biggest thing is that since this has come in, it's just killed the atmosphere, and that's the biggest thing that I enjoyed taking part in is singing and the chants and whatnot. And I'm sure you guys have all been to the games. It's dead, it's flat, and it's the same around every ground. And I think it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, Neil, is it spoiling the episode? Sorry, Tom, go on. You get in.
I was going to say is look. We've got another sport who brought the virtual reality in, the TMO in rugby. They never have a problem. The referee watches it on a big screen in the crowd. Everyone can see what's happening. That everyone can hear if they brought the ref mic, what is going on, the communication, and the way it's being done. It's the questions, simple questions. Is it or is it not a try? Can I award the try? So why can't they use simple questions as, is it a handball or is it a corner when you're not 100% sure? These things are quite simple to be used into, the technology. I don't agree. Adam put something earlier about saying we've got to give it time. I completely agree. Give it time. It was brought in for the right reasons. We've seen it in the World Cup that it's been used right. But in the Premier League, they completely mucked it up by how they're doing it. And for me, there's ways around it. One, use old referees as the video assistant refs. So your likes of Graham Pole, Clattenburg, if they're not going to referee on a Sunday for us anymore, see if they will come and be the assistant referees, because you're taking a whole it's my mate in the middle of the pitch, because we all know referees are mates off the field. They all do a lot of training together and training camps. So are they going to have that backbone to give a decision against them in the big games? Be honest, we should be sitting here today talking about a very good football match between second and third place, and we're not. We're sitting here talking about a video system ref.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
I just want to come in here as well, Phil. The referee controls the game. He has a duty of care. Look at the Nacho incident. If you're the referee and he goes down like he's been shot like that, you need to go to the video assistant to see what happened, because he's got a duty of care to every single player on that pitch.
I mean, it looked like he went for him, let's be honest with you. It did look like he'd gone for Nacho. He didn't even go for the ball. And the fact that it wasn't even looked at, and some of the players were actually giggling and laughing, standing above Nacho. Like, what's going on? I don't know. I don't know where the decisions are made of what's looked at and what's not. But I was not expecting this time last year, when we all thought VAR was going to come in and solve some of the problems, like for example, like the Lampard goal, a goal line technology. That kind of has sorted itself out. But we was expecting VAR to sort of do that, is fix certain things, and it's just made everything turn up on its head. It's just a mess. It's absolutely a mess.
And yes, let's focus on another game, Bournemouth. They equalised. It was VAR checked, and apparently there was a handball which deflected off someone's shoulder, and the other team gets a penalty awarded, and they're 2-0 down.
Yeah, I agree. Now, on Match of the Day, I don't know those of you guys who did watch that. They had the first goal for Bournemouth when it was 0-0. I think it came off Ake's shoulder, and it glances off this part of his shoulder about there. And they're watching that in slow, and the slow motion isn't convincing, but it certainly is above that. And then the debate is, where does the hand stop, the arm, and where's the shoulder start? But it just took a glance off him, and then they scored. And you sort of think, well, we're missing out on goals here by VAR saying no, we're going to review that. But that's different people's opinion of which bit is an arm and which is a shoulder. Then their second goal, it was a very similar incident where again it comes off another player's exactly the same sort of area, and then sort of a few of the Burnley players appeal for a penalty, but Bournemouth go up the other end and score a goal. So they think they're 1-1. Suddenly the review is from like 60 seconds before to a ball where not only do they have the goal chalked off, but they then have a penalty against them. And again, it's down to opinions. Tom looks like he's itching. Come on.
The simple. The rules should be simple, mate. It's like that. If it hits your hand, it's handball. It should be that simple now. None of this is your hand in a natural position or anything like that. I'm sick of hearing that now because no one knows what a natural position is. At the end of the day, if you look at the wall, everybody else's hands are down by the side. De Bruyne is the only one who brings his hands up into his face. They're not actually on his face or away from his face, and it clips his hand. It has to be handball for that decision. Look, VAR is not working great. The only thing what's working great about VAR is on and offside because it's so tight margins, but you know it's going to be clear cut. So I've got no problem with the on and offside.
Tom, I don't even think they're getting that right.
Yeah, but it's frustrating to watch, but at least you know they've got a line drawn on the pitch, eh?
Yeah, but again, that line, Tom, that line again, and any of you deal with video editing, the speed of what that ball is going is if you stop that frame when the ball is being kicked. I know this sounds technical. When the ball is being kicked from somebody's toe, when they very first touch it to like literally, and I'm not talking a second later, I'm talking like a frame second, which is 1/25th of a second. Moving that, the players at the other end can do that as well. So when somebody is stopping the ball, you could very easily toggle that to be either onside or offside if you wanted to, and then put these the fat lines they put on there. It's not a science. Anthony, I'm going to bring Anthony in because he's been out for a little bit. Anthony, in the ground again yesterday. I've stopped almost celebrating if we score a goal immediately, and if they score, I sort of sit there and go, well, somebody's going to check that, and they did check the Man City goal in the end yesterday. What are you when we score? Are you jumping around, or are you like? Is there a bit of you going, oh, it's going to get VAR'd?
The Aguero goal just before half time that wasn't given, that was checked by VAR. My instant reaction was just wait for VAR because I thought it was offside and stuff. So I wasn't worried that we conceded, and it shouldn't be like that. You should be like, if you concede a goal, you should concede a goal. It shouldn't be the fact that, oh, wait for VAR, it might save us. I just don't agree with it. And it's like, going back, I know this is going back quite a while, but like the Wolves one, the first game of the season, that one there, that was sort of, I couldn't see anything wrong with that either. It's sort of nitpicks for smallest things for certain goals, and then for other things it will leave blatantly obvious things out.
I mean, we're trying. We all want to watch a game where most of us would rather watch a game where it was 5-4 and one team wins rather than one team wins 1-0. We want to see goals, whether it's for them or for us. Obviously, we want to see more for us. But VAR, in my opinion, is definitely ruling out far more goals than it's giving. There must have been. I don't know the stats, Jamie. Sorry, go on.
Well, when was the last time that you seen fans unite? That's home and away in the same ground. Say, I'm not going to swear, but FAAR, FVAR, all singing the same thing. That's proof that something's wrong, my lad.
Your lad is a star. Get him on. Get him on.
Get on. He's dying.
Get him on. Come on, Lee. Get out that chair. Put the lad in the chair. Come on, Lee.
You're fired.
Oh dear.
He's classic. He is. I've lost the plot. Jamie, you were going to say something.
I can't remember now because Lee just took it off us. Come back to me in a minute. I can't remember what I'm going to say now.
The topic was going to be we're seeing less goals this season. That's the simple.
That was it. I remember what I was going to. On my shows before VAR came in, I was saying that a lot of goals will be disallowed. I was expecting a lot more 0-0s than what there actually is. But I was right though. A lot of goals are being disallowed. They're nitpicking. They're being too technical about it. As they say, they're being too forensic about it. It's just it's difficult. Like I say, I keep going back to it. I'm not enjoying watching it. Even the build up to the game, I'm not enjoying that because I'm thinking there's going to be a VAR check, and I just don't enjoy watching the games anymore.
And I think you're right. I think I saw a survey the other day that the decibels in the grounds has dropped considerably this year than last season, and that's because fans are just going, well, what's going to happen next? Is something else going to happen? But what I don't understand is VAR is used in various leagues around the world, and they all use the same format. Whereas the Premier League said, well, screw you lot. You might be doing it well, but we want to do it differently, and we'll make a complete balls up of it as well.
I agree.
Yeah,
I believe it's been used in the
Yeah.
Bundesliga. It's been in the Bundesliga for a couple of seasons now. Apparently, the first season it was in the Bundesliga, they had a nightmare, but they've ironed out all these problems. So James is quite right. Why have we not taken the leaf out of other people's systems and worked out how to do it? For me, part of it, guys, is the rules are still open to interpretation. Like we talk about handballs being on, whether they're intentional or unintentional. Does anybody even understand what the handball rule is in the penalty box?
No, fans don't know the rules. Fans don't know the rules. The players don't even know the rules. The rules are... There's so much going on right now, and with this VAR, like I said, it's turned it all on its head. No one knows what's going on. My lad is dying to get on here. You know,
come on, I've told you, get him in there.
I'm going to sit him in this chair and get the headphones on. In a minute.
You get him in that chair and let him go on. He'll talk more sense than you, mate.
Football t-shirts.
All right. I can't concentrate.
I know, Tom. Listen, Tom. The rules, like the offside rule, even it's impossible to almost know what is offside now, isn't it? With this,
well, what's offside, what's onside, what's handball, what's not handball? I think Anthony made a great point earlier. Go to the first game of the season at Wolves, and we got lucky there. For me, I mean, if that's been given a handball, then the yesterday's has to be a handball. His hands are definitely up there. I mean. The Bonnie goal from the beginning of the season, it literally hits him. He doesn't even know where it is. The ball is. It literally drops onto his hand, and then the bloke volleys it in, and he got a handball against him. And I mean, everyone in the ground that day had no clue. And I thought to begin the season it'd be made quite clear: if it catches your hand, then a penalty would be awarded. And then slowly,
it's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it has changed again.
When we won the league, after we won the league, they brought in, if you pull a shirt in the box, a penalty be awarded. Now, the first 3 or 4 games, I remember Stoke having penalised every single game because of a shirt being pulled. Within 3 months, that seemed to disappear out the window because people got annoyed with it. It's the consistency what the fans are, not just Leicester, but every fan in the country is getting sick of. I mean, some of the goals that have been disallowed are really pathetic, not to be known. Should never have been disallowed. They should have had a 1-0 win, game over. I mean, same with the game at Molineux. Such a tight margin for offside. I mean, it is the correct decision. But again, like you said, is it 100% accurate? I mean, like I say, I'm not too... The off and offside rule, it's going to be so close and it's such a margin. But it's nearly accurate. Was it 98% accurate now, the same with that lines? It's close as you're going to get. But it's the rest of the situations. And we're still not using the monitor for me. That's my biggest thing. Why are we not using the monitor? Give the decision-making, like James, back to the referee. He should be making the decisions, not somebody in Stockley Park who's looking at it at 4 or 5 angles and still doesn't know himself. He should literally go, possible red card, go and look at the monitor. That is it.
Yeah.
That's what he should be doing. Same with the penalties. Yes, he has handballed it, but it's your call if you want to give a penalty or not. That's all it has to be.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for a controversial, like a player's shoelace is undone and it gets caught offside. I'm still waiting for something ridiculous like that to happen because it's going to happen at some point. Because if every fraction is offside, then I don't know. We weren't for this. We weren't for this at all, were we?
No. Just one thing while we're all here. There's a lot of talk about it being top 6 biased. Does anyone agree with that?
Oh gosh, yeah, all day long. Listen, I was watching the game yesterday on. I won't tell you where I was watching it, but I had a Tottenham Hotspur app advertised, and I was a Man United app advertised, and an Arsenal some sort of tour advertised, whilst the game was playing around the banner of the screen.
But that's nothing to do with the refereeing.
No, but I'm saying I'm on about like just in general media bias towards the top 6, and
it's always going to be the case, mate. I'm
It's-
sorry, we support a smaller team. This is always going to be stacked against us, regardless of how well we're doing. Look at the year we won the Premier League. It's always going to be stacked against because we're not a top 6 team. Now they've got bigger money, more people support them teams. You look, I think James was mentioning it on the show where we were talking about.
I don't know.
Look at the international reach. Man United can go anywhere in the world and sell out a stadium. They could, for example, when we played against Hong Kong, we had Liverpool in the final. Forgot what training trophy it was. the 97% of the crowd, the 97% of the crowd were Liverpool. Now, unfortunately, if you're a businessman, you're going to appeal to the biggest demographic, which is those big people. So I can't relate that. I've got a comment from Mick, which I think is really interesting, who says, after 45 years of following Leicester City, I'm seriously thinking about my season ticket if VAR continues in this manner. It's an experiment that clearly isn't working, and furthermore is spoiling for the terrace, and not just Leicester, but all the grounds. Now, if somebody's going to be willing to give up their season ticket for one season, because we're doing pretty well at the moment in third position, we're kind of stuck there. I'd never thought I'd see somebody give a season ticket up for something that wasn't to do with the football, as in wasn't to do with the performances on the pitch.
That's mad.
So I just think that was something that I really wanted to touch on as well, because if people are expecting to give
I'm just going through the comments myself and having
I mean, don't you think we are? Sorry, Phil.
Go on, Jamie.
Oh, but don't you think, though, just going back to the actual, nothing to do with money in that. I know what Neil's on about the big six have the big draw of all the fans, but surely the Premier League is on an equal playing field, not to do with money. And it seems to be all the decisions seem to be based around the top six, the so-called top six, getting all the right decisions, and all the smaller clubs are not. I mean, the semi-final of the League Cup, that was blatantly a handball. It wasn't given. But Man City were in. Who would Man City rather play in a final, Villa or us?
I think you're. Guys, I genuinely think you're into conspiracy theories there. I think they're just. Listen, they're getting it wrong in Burnley v Bournemouth yesterday. They're getting it wrong in Leicester v Wolves games. They're getting it wrong in almost every. I gave up with match of the day last night after 3 or 4 games, because it's not talking about tactics and how well a player's played or movement or goals. It's all about VAR getting it wrong in every game. That's all the post-match analysis was.
I think if you look at the start of the season, Man City were getting the wrong decisions as well. Everyone remembers the Champions League semi-final last year.
Yeah.
And I think it's happening in every game. No one's talking about the football anymore. No one's talking about how great we played. I said to Neil this morning, no one's talking about Barnes' run yesterday. No one's talking about Mahrez drifting past players. No one's talking about the football anymore. Football doesn't matter anymore. It's just about these awful decisions that some idiots making miles away. That surely makes no sense.
No, I agree. I agree with you there, James. We're going to sum this up in a little bit. What I want to know from people, from all you guys here, is it enough to make you not want to go to a live game? That's the big question. And we'll go through it one by one. Let's start with Chappers and Junior Chappers. What about you two?
He's run downstairs. He's got his headphones on because he wanted to join in.
Well, come on, Lee. What's his name? Introduce him to us.
My lad's name's James.
What an awesome name.
Now, placing you on our show, mate.
Lee, is it enough to make you? Is it enough to make you consider not going to watch live games?
Yeah, it's getting to a point where I've not been enjoying it for quite a while. I've got to admit, maybe personal issues myself, bits and bobs have gone on, but at the same time, I can't remember the last game I enjoyed. I really, really mean that. It's just got out of hand. You just can't enjoy the goals. You can't enjoy the atmosphere. It's gone.
Jamie,
hashtag RIP football.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jamie, you're a far-flung fox, and you run the Fox's Arms. Little plug there, obviously in Alcudia. But you watch it slightly. I know you've been to several King Power matches this season when you can, haven't you? Is it spoiling
I try and get back as much as possible. And there's a couple of games I can get back to before we start work. And I'm thinking, do I really want to spend that money going back and not enjoying it when I can watch it here and get a bit more involved in it, because I can see what's going on. And on the TV, us armchair fans, you can see more on the TV. So I'm thinking, I like going back into King Power all the time. I love watching Leicester live. But at the minute, it's just one of them things. I am losing a little bit of interest in it. But I'll still watch them. I'll still support them, anything like that. But it's just because of what's going on with VAR, I just don't. Yeah, I'll be struggling there.
James, over to you.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Everyone remembers the Seville game and how loud it was down the King Power. Everyone was singing, chanting, and the atmosphere was absolutely amazing. Now, everyone's waiting for a decision. We score Everyone's waiting for the game to be pulled back. Even the celebrations of all the players you'll see nowadays, they're not like they used to be. They're just walking back to the centre circle, waiting for the review to happen. And that just seems wrong to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Who's next? Let's get Tom. Tom View. I don't know if you heard the question, Tom. The question was, is it enough? I know yesterday you made the choice to have you watch it on TV, even though you've got a ticket to the match, one of the biggest matches at Leicester for the season. You decided to watch it from home. What is it putting you off?
It is a little bit, mate. I think Jamie hit the nail on the head. You know what's going on at home. You know, you see the VAR pop up. You can see where the lines are being drawn. You can see what's being reviewed, like cleared for the penalty for Bennis Pratt, all the angles. But I think you knew straight away what was going to happen. It is sucking the life out of football, if I'm honest, and that's the sad thing about it. We should be embracing VAR, using it to its full potential, and we should be talking about it. The whole point of view was VAR at the beginning of the season was brought in to stop human error. They were the words, stop human error. And we're still keeping human error by using it poorly. So, yeah, it is taking the life out of it, mate. I'll still come down. I think Jamie's right. You still never stop loving your football club. But it's taking the enjoyment out of the game now.
Somebody on Facebook has put VAR kills the excitement of live games for the fans, but it's better to get the right decision or not. Albeit many aren't correct, which about sums it up, I think, doesn't it? Who have we got left? Neil hasn't answered yet. And Anthony, I want to know your views on, does it put you off going?
Yeah, like it wouldn't put me off entirely going, but it definitely makes me double take it a lot of the time. Like a lot of the time when things have gone wrong, you just think, like, for example, what happened? You think, well, do I want to go out in the cold? Do I want to spend all this money going down to the game and X, Y, Z? And a lot of the points have been covered already, and that's the problem. The problem isn't VAR. The problem is the people behind it and the consistency, because we know it works. And I think people have mentioned it before, where the Premier League have just with essentially, let's face it, it's arrogance. Because we think, because we're the most watched league in the world, we're probably the most watched sport, like kind of league in the world as well, that we think we can get away with doing different rules. Now, the problem is they don't see that other sports have tried it and they've really smashed it out the park. Why did we not even consider doing what they're doing and copying them? Because at the end of the day, if something's working, you don't change it. And the reason why you don't change it is because it's working. You don't know the other things that are coming from it. And a few of them is like the rules they put in place. The handball rule is seen not just once or twice. This has been a good handful of times. I want to say coming up to like 12 odd times where we've had it go against us and for us, where it's come off a part of the body where it shouldn't have, or it's an L, but there's no consistency in it. So surely that was the whole point of VAR being brought in, where it's like, okay, it's onside, it's offside. It's easy as that. It's a handball or it's not. And within a single match, as we found yesterday, that's not the case. So it does put me off a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But overall, it's definitely... It doesn't make me stop loving football. It doesn't make me stop supporting the team, because essentially that's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about how well they've played. We only lost by 1-0 against one of the best teams, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about all the other stuff that shouldn't be away from the players. And to be fair, it does make the players, the manager, and I think something else that they've pointed out as well, it leaves the referees in such a weird position, because bearing in mind, they've got to deal with all the players, the managers, the ground. They should basically all against them at all times. And if some guy in your ear is telling you, I don't know, this was the case, and you have no say in it, then you'll see what Connor Cody did against Wolves, where he goes, what happened? And Mike Dean goes, I don't know. Now, if the referee's not in charge, I think Sports SA mentioned it earlier, like, what's the point of him being there? You might as well just get robots to referee the whole thing, because it just makes no sense.
I'm going to come to Anthony next with a final question, a slight tweak on the question. Just want to there's lots of people getting the comments in here. Steve saying, I was here with you, a couple of old folk, so who's perhaps listening to me saying this. There's three of them saying that they were losing interest watching football ever since VAR was introduced. John says VAR works in rugby, it works in cricket, but why not in football? Sportster says, imagine what it's like at Liverpool and Man United with no big screens. Yeah, you're right. There is no communication there. Michael saying he's not been to a game in a while, but it's VAR is making me not want to go to a game. Anthony, here is your question for you. Craig says, and I think this is an option. Craig says, why can't each bench get a set amount of reviews? Therefore, the needless reviews when no one appeals and we all know it's a goal don't need to happen. But like tennis, give the managers the option potentially to have a review. Anthony, does that make sense, that question? Do you understand?
I sort of agree with it, but at the same time, I feel like the people at Stockley Park, they should be watching throughout the game and then almost pulling up if there's something wrong, not waiting for the ref then to check it and stuff. Because, sorry, not the ref checking it, because obviously we'll be complaining about it, but I think they should be active throughout, sort of looking and stuff and almost advising the ref in his ear, not having to appeal it kind of thing. Because what we saw yesterday with the Man City players herding around the ref, appealing it, I think that was absolutely disgraceful, to be honest. And you can imagine if that was Leicester players herding around the ref like that, we would probably get a fine for not controlling our players and stuff. So
yeah, well,
I don't want it to become sort of.
I did notice that when our free kick hit De Bruyne in the hand, none of the Leicester players particularly swamped the ref or went mental, and the minute they did it, Man City went absolutely mental, and it must have a small effect on the people.
Yeah, and
sorry,
it's, you meant like I don't want to sound like bitter about yesterday's game and stuff, but realistically, you should be like the Man City players. They were out of order doing that, and it's. Like you see different teams doing that, getting charged, and Man City getting away with it. Which I think that's where my frustration lies. Is just the inconsistency of the refereeing throughout the league.
Brilliant, guys. Listen, I think we've covered VAR. We're all a bit sick of it, and thanks. Hands up, who is sick of VAR? I think we all are, aren't we? We all want it gone. But if it's going to be here, let's just use it right. So thanks, Jamie, for joining us.
Cheers all. See you later. Thank you.
Thanks to James as well.
Thanks all. See you later.
James, tell us about the kit room. It's on tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, kit room's on tonight, 8 o'clock. There'll be lots of VAR ranting, lots of ranting about other things as well, no doubt.
And that's with Neil. Thanks for joining us, Neil.
Great. See you later. See you tonight at 8 o'clock.
Brilliant. And Anthony, cheers for your stuff. Have you got a video up on LCFC Boyer?
Yeah, got up a matchday vlog yesterday for the game.
Brilliant. Well done. Everybody go and see that. Tom, are you joining me tomorrow night?
I'll see it at 7:30, Phil. And let's just leave it on a positive note that all the heavyweight belts are back in the UK with Tyson Fury. Let's leave on something positive that we are, all the belts are in the United Kingdom again, eh?
Brilliant. All right. And Chappers.
Great. I've been trying to avoid the.
We don't want you in, Chappers. We want James to tell us his views.
Yeah, this one. What do you think to VAR?
I hate VAR.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying. I hate it.
There you go. That's it. But thanks, Tom, for spoiling the boxing. I've been avoiding it all morning, and it took 38 minutes of the video, and I got the result right at the end. Cheers.
Tom, did Frank Bruno win?
Yeah, Frank Bruno, yeah, mate. Lennox Lewis, yeah. Lennox Lewis, yeah.
Listen, next topic on VAR. Next topic on VAR. I think we should look into: would Leicester have won the Premier League if VAR existed in 2015-16? That's the next topic to look into.
You go back and check every goal.
To be fair, you lot with your conspiracy theories. Anyway,
how many times did VAR have to do in every single match?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Because it's like 2 times in each match.
It's more than it needs to be. Just
like
needs to
at
be
least
sorted,
at least one time in one match
by the manager decision.
Yeah, more attention to you, Chappers.
Good idea, James. Quality idea.
Thanks, Junior Chappie. Right, guys. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks mostly for everybody who's been watching at home, getting your comments in. We've tried to get as many up there as we can do. Thanks as ever to Jamie. I've got to try and remember everybody now. Jamie, James, Neil, Anthony, Tom, Chappers, whoever missed, Neil, Young Chappers, James, Harry. Oh, everybody, listen, that's great. We really enjoyed doing that. Harry, Henry.
Thanks for saying my name.
You're
Oh,
welcome,
yeah.
James. We'll see you later. Join me tomorrow night in the Fan Zone show, 7:30 p.m. Tom will be joining me, and we want your comments in there. Tonight it is 8 p.m. The live Kit Room Show premiere comes out. Chappers does his podcast, Fox in the Box Show, which is a video and on iTunes and SoundCloud, comes out every Wednesday. And as you know, you'll have seen it on Sunday mornings, the Fox's Aftermath Show. Jamie sat in the sunshine outside the Fox's Arms Bar in Alcudia, which will be opening soon, mid-April, I guess. So get out there and
Yeah, first
enjoy
week in
a
April.
pint with Jamie. He gets in there first week in April. Beers are on, Jamie.
Jamie, can you stop
Bit of
rating
business, not charity shop.
Hey,
Yeah,
we've just hit 4,700 subs on YouTube. So if everyone on the Leicester Fan TV on Facebook could hop over and subscribe to the Leicester Fan TV YouTube channel, that would be brilliant and help us grow as a channel, as a team as well.
That's great. Thanks, Chappers. Listen, everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Thumbs up, remember? Thumbs up.
Ooh, Facebook friend.